Inside Out is presented by HTC. This is life. Connect with it. And sponsored in part by Luke Rankin, Rankin & Rankin Law Firm. Experience you can trust. And by Clark Parker with Myrtle Beach CPAs, proudly serving the area for over 40 years. And by Magnolia's at 26th for good old-fashioned Southern comfort food, where Mama eats.
I love October. The month is full of festivals from one end of the Grand Strand to the other. How about the Wooden Boat Show in Georgetown? I'll be at the Pawleys Island Festival of Music and Art emceeing that all month long. And then, of course, Surfside's got a family fest. Little River's got a shrimp fest. Conway has the Live Oak Music and Arts Festival and a ghost walk. So get on out and enjoy all the wonderful things the area has to offer. And speaking of enjoying, I know you're going to love this month's Inside Out.
This segment of Inside Out is brought to you by Magnolia's at 26th for good old-fashioned Southern comfort food, where Mama eats.
Well, I'm sure everyone who's watching us right now knows the haberdashery and herdashery in Conway with Russell and Tracy. They've been around a long time, but not only clothing are they into, they're into Boykin Spaniels. And that's where we are right now, the state dog out here at Black Mariah Farms.
That's correct.
Tracy, my goodness, they are just precious babies. First, tell me how you got into Boykins.
It was about 35 years ago, and I was reading an article in I think it was a Sports Afield magazine. I'm not even sure if it's in existence anymore, but it was a satirical article about the Boykins. It was about one of them sending the dog back to get the truck for them because they were too tired to walk and blah, blah, blah. And then the other guy says, well, no, he can't reach the pedals, indicating that the dog could drive, if he did. But so that intrigued me. So I started to do some research. I found where to find one, and I went and got one, my first Boykin.
And the rest is history.
There you go.
So, and then you pulled Russell in, as you have in all the other businesses. Y'all do everything together?
Yes. We did that. We decided to start raising them and build a little kennel and go for it in that direction.
I remember interviewing you about 27 years ago on a previous show, and you guys were into goats. How did that go? Boykins
we're
were
glad
easier.
we're into Boykins now.
Boykins were a lot easier
Yeah, they are a lot
goats.
easier.
Isn't that the truth? Oh yeah. He liked that. He liked that. Yeah, he thought that was a good laugh.
Yeah,
you didn't like when I laughed, did you? Tell me about the Boykin. What is so special about them, and why do you think they're the state dog?
They, well, first off, the state dog because they were born and bred, if you will, and started in the Camden and Boykin area of South Carolina. This is the kind of dog that can go from the fireplace to the field. They love to be family dogs, but they also are very good retrievers, and they love to retrieve. I mean, and it's a natural instinct, so they make very good hunting dogs.
I guess there are a lot of people who call you and say, hey, I need a good hunting dog, but would you say there's more people who just want to adopt because they love dogs?
Yes.
Far more.
By far. Yeah, out of these puppies here, I think I only had one guy that said, I'm looking for a hunting dog. And the rest of everybody says, you know what, we want a family pet, somebody that can ride on the boat, jump in the water at the lake, do that kind of stuff.
So how many dogs do you have here? I mean, we've got a bunch behind us.
Yes, we, on the farm we have 14 Boykins and 2 other dogs that aren't Boykins.
And right now, 10 puppies that will be gone by the time this show airs.
Yes.
However, you'll have more in November.
Correct. Yes, we have another one that's pregnant. We were this year we're doing 2. So.
Do people prefer males or females, Tracy?
I'm gonna say females for the most part. And this particular litter, we just got lucky. We had 7 females and 3 males.
When people bring these babies home, what do you tell them? What should they feed them?
We like to go with Purina Puppy Chow. We've been doing it for many, many years. And that, it gives them a good coat. They seem happy, they seem healthy. So that's what we recommend, at least for 6 to 8 months, maybe even a year.
These two are very docile. However, earlier you and I had fun chasing 10 little puppies around trying to catch them.
You got to put them back.
So they definitely are energetic. People who adopt a Boykin need to be able to have energy, right?
Yes, it is. The dogs like to run. In the mornings when I come out here and I let them all out, they just tear out across the farm, and they'll run and run and run and run. They'll run about 10 minutes and then come back expecting a treat, you know.
Tell me about the farm. Let's brag about this beautiful place. You and Russell and your daughter, Cameron, you all have lots of land out here.
Yeah, it's a funny story. Russell and I decided that we wanted to raise our families on somewhere besides a cookie cutter type of development, you know. So we started looking around for maybe 3 to 4 acres, 2 apiece maybe, you know, something like that. We were willing to go up to 5, no problem. But everything we found was so expensive for just the couple acres. And then Larry Bratcher came to me one day and says, you know what, I have a piece of land you need to look at. So he drove us out here, and he wouldn't tell me anything about it till I got here. When I got here, we were driving down the middle of that road, and he said, I said, Larry, how many acres? You know, we're looking for 2 or 3, you know. And he said, it's a little bit more than that. I said, Larry, how many? And he finally said, okay, it's 30 acres. I said, Larry, there's no way, we cannot do this. But as soon as we got onto the land, I looked over at Russell and I said, if you'll take that side, I'll take this side. And he said, yeah, I'll do that. And we made the decision right there on the spot that if we could get the price right, we were gonna do it. So we ended up with it. And then over the years, we've added another 10 acres. Russell bought 10 acres more, and then we ordered another 8 acres. And then my wife and I bought that 9 acres over there. And when we did, we owned it about a week. And then my daughter Cameron and her husband Jared bought it from us.
So you really have close to 50 acres here, if my math is correct.
That's right.
Oh my goodness. How long is the pregnancy period? So a mother gets pregnant, and then how long is it before she actually delivers a puppy?
It's typically, 63 days. You can near about set your watch to it. I mean, it just is, if I know the conception date and the time, I'm looking for those puppies to be born within a few hours of that time, 63 days later.
And then you keep the puppies for how long before they're adoptable?
6 weeks is typical. Sometimes we go to 8, depending on their size.
Is it hard to part with them? I mean, after you hug them and love them and nurture them?
Yeah, yes and no. Yes, that part it is hard because they're so cute and cuddly, and they're just a lot of fun. You can lay down in there and they'll all crawl all over you and all that. But they become pooping machines.
Ah, yeah, I get the idea.
About the 6 week, and then it's a constant cleanup mode.
So you're ready. You're ready to part with these beautiful babies.
By then they got good homes, and then they're ready to go.
It's really interesting too, Tracy, to me that you and Russell have been such great friends for how long now?
31 years.
And as clothiers, working in downtown Conway at the Black Market with your beautiful shops, and then living within eyesight of each other, having this business together, you're partners in so many things. What a great friendship.
It really has been. It was funny when I first met him. My wife has incredible intuition. We were going to sleep that night, and I said, Terry, what do you think? And she said, I think it's a good thing. I think you should partner up with him, and in the business end, and you know, you've always heard that it's opposites attract. Okay, well, he's very artistic and good with numbers, and I'm not, but I'm good with the other stuff. I'm the mechanical end.
How
so
wonderful.
It just works. The relationship works. It's just worked a lot of years.
A beautiful relationship of love and respect. Mm-hmm. Black Mariah Farms. I guess it's time to wrap it up because the puppies are thirsty and I have sweat and mascara dripping in my eyes. I'd say it's time to wrap it up. Tracy, thank you so much. And if people are interested in a puppy, it's Black Mariah Farms. Go to their Instagram page. The info is right there. And set your mind on adoption. Thanks, Tracy.
Thank you.
Baby. Get ready for winter. Up next on Inside Out. Remember when Mama loved to cook? Well, now Mama eats at Magnolia's, and you should too. She knows that Magnolia's brings the Anderson family farm straight to the table. There's breakfast, lunch, dinner, and Sunday brunch buffets, plus a salad bar and banquet space available. As for the price, Mama says she can't cook it that cheap. Magnolia's for good old Southern comfort food that'll have you coming back even before the cashier says. Y'all come back. 26th Avenue North and Ocean Boulevard in Myrtle Beach.
No matter where the day takes me, HTC provides the high-speed internet services I need. HTC delivers faster speeds, 24/7 local tech support, and free in-home Wi-Fi right here to Horry and Georgetown counties. As trusted community members serving up world-class internet service, I know HTC will keep my family connected to what matters most. Because you are here, and so are we.
High-speed internet starting at 100 megabits per second. Call today.
HTC. This is life. Connect with it.
It might not seem like it, but winter is just around the corner, and you need a wool hat. That's the topic right now. We're in Lambertown, which is in the far corners of Georgetown County. I want you to meet Cindy Valentine. I fell in love with her hats when I saw them a couple of months ago when we were doing a TV interview at D. Nuke's Artisan Gallery. That's on Cannon Street in Georgetown. And I'm just curious how you got into making hats, because these are gorgeous.
My neighbor, maybe 25 years ago, she had llamas. So I bought my first hat from her, and we went to a sheep show. And we purchased a bag of fiber together, and I bought my needle and my form and went home and started making hats. I was basically, just making the hats, and my friend said, you need to do a hat show. So we got together with about 18, 20 ladies. I think everyone but maybe one bought the hat because she didn't look good and all. She came back later when I was making a blue hat like this and purchased it. So that's how I got started, and then I started doing shows with my neighbor, and the hats they were selling. Everybody loves the hats.
Well, they're lightweight, Cindy. They're not only lightweight, they're not hot. A crocheted hat or a knitted hat is very hot. But here in the South, in the winter, we don't need anything that's going to come down to our chin.
True. So these are basically, they weigh 2 ounces. I've never weighed, but I have bought 2 ounces of material, of fiber. And so I know it's about 2 ounces. So probably the little foo-foos that's on your hat and these other hats, they probably make it weigh 3 ounces. 3 ounces is not bad for your head.
No, so lightweight.
And you take them off, you don't have hat hair. That's a plus.
That's a real plus. Tell me how it's done.
Well, I start out, and this is lamb's wool, and the light in there is silk. And I just lay it over like this, like I've done here. And I use my needle, and I felt around. And then after I get so much on there, I'm going to switch it, pull it out, switch it over.
So that, in essence, is already
stuck
together.
Well, the needle has little tiny barbs on the end, and it goes in smooth. It comes out, it knits the fiber together. If you happen to stick your finger, it rips the meat when it comes out also. But it's the same needles that they use to make wool cloth. So once you make these hats, they will last forever. And you can also take them if you're going somewhere. Might have sold hats that went overseas. You can fold them.
What happens when it rains?
If it's just a light rain, you can take it, shake it off, put it back on your head. Because it is made from animal's fiber, it has the lanolin in it. Downpour, it's going to get wet. If it gets wet, you just shape it on your head, and put it on a container that will hold it here and let it dry. Take your blow dryer and dry it.
Fluff it up a little.
Fluff it up a little.
So I'm going to change hats. Oh, you need to change hats too. Okay. So the best way to wear one of these hats is...
Not to the full front. Now this hat I would, because I want it to cover my ears. Your hat, you wear it tilted to the side with an attitude.
I've got attitude, honey, if I got nothing else. So let's talk about what you're doing there. What type of hat would this be?
This is going to be a hat with a brim, like your hat, like your hat. And I will either find navy blue ribbon to put around it, and I have got a silver feather
light blue
to go on it.
Now we're talking sass.
Talking sass.
Cindy, what range of price are these hats? I mean, where do they start and where do they finish?
I'm fairly sure at DNukes they go from $79 or $75, $79 to $105. I don't think I've ever charged more than that, but I've had a specialty fiber that I used. And talking about specialty fibers, the hat you're wearing is made out of lamb's wool as a base. The brown is camel, and the fluffy is Samoa dog hair.
Whoa!
A lot of people buy the dog hair hats.
Of course. So you mean this little fluff, whatever?
That's the feather.
Oh, what's coming? The feathery look
it
here.
It looks like a cloud.
That is
it
dog
looks like
hair?
a cloud. That is dog hair, Samoa dog hair. Otherwise, it would look like this. So,
what do you like working with best? What type of wool?
I love it all. And color does not matter. I love the colors. I'm going to reach for this.
Oh yeah, this is spectacular.
I just made this recently, and this is the color.
So you buy it like that?
I buy it like this. I let somebody else, usually I buy it on Etsy or Amazon. I have my favorite dealers, and they hand dye it. So then when I start spreading it out, it becomes just multicolored. And what I'll do, I'll choose a color that's in this fiber here and find a ribbon. And either I can make a hat or, make a flower like this one here. Make a flower.
Something that you just kind of put there.
There you go.
That's the attitude.
One that I find at Hobby Lobby or AC Moore.
Has anybody famous bought any of your hats?
I don't keep up with them, but they have gone overseas. They definitely go to other states because the majority of my clients come up from north in the wintertime because my hats will start selling about October and they'll sell until about March. So anyone famous, only me.
So Cindy, I think you should send a hat to maybe someone like Dolly Parton so that you can say, Dolly has one of my hats. Do men buy them?
Men do. They'll take the flower or the bow off and just leave the band, and they'll walk out of DNukes with a black hat. Because that's basically what they buy is the black hats. And it keeps their heads warm. So yes, men have bought my hats, and men are always fascinated. I used to sit on Front Street years ago, and I would felt a hat. The men were fascinated with the way the hat, the construction of it, and the fact that you're doing this instead of knitting or sewing. So
just poking.
Just poking. Absolutely, just poking.
It's fascinating. It's Cindy Valentine. Perhaps I should have saved her till February, but then again, winter would have almost been over. So
this is true.
I wanted everyone to know that winter's just around the corner. You can get your hats at DNukes. It's an artisan gallery right on Cannon Street next to the Shrimp Market in Georgetown. Cindy, I feel sassy. Thank you so very much.
Remember to wear it with a tilt and an attitude.
Got it. Advice from the North Myrtle Beach Fire Department that could save your life. Right after this break. Mark your calendars now for the 37th season of the Carolina Master Chorale, kicking off with a concert of favorite showstoppers in Nights on Broadway. And this year's new twist to your holiday favorites is Christmas and All That Brass. Celebrate a romantic Valentine's weekend with Music is the Food of Love. And they're ending the season on a hot note. Tango in Buenos Aires. Hold the dates, but purchase your season tickets now. Call or go online at carolinamasterchorale.com. Well, you just saw our interview with Cindy Valentine. While we were at her beautiful home way out in the country, we found thousands of hummingbirds around her beautiful home. Okay, maybe hundreds. Either way, we decided to make it this month's video feature.
This segment of Inside Out is brought to you by Luke Rankin, Rankin & Rankin Law Firm. Experience you can trust.
It's Fire Prevention Month, so what do you wear to the fire department? Red, of course. I want you to meet Jay Ortiz. He is a great guy. You're going to love the information he's going to dish out because it's life-saving. So Jay, here in North Myrtle Beach, anything special going on for Fire Prevention Month?
Always. We are packed in Fire Prevention Month, October, going to schools, going to private schools, going to daycares. I see about 2,600 students a year just to teach them about fire and life safety and what to do in case they're in a fire.
Well, I guess an important thing for kids and families is to make sure that they have a fire drill in their home and know how to escape.
Certainly. 2 ways out, always. Practice that. Parents, allow your kids to practice that and understand that a way out might not be a door. It might be a window. So practice those 2 ways out of a room. Stay low and go. Stay under the smoke. Teach the kids that. Always touch the door. Make sure it's not hot. Door handle.
Years ago, people used to go out for Halloween with pumpkins and candles, and we've learned that's not good.
That's right. Stay away from candles at all cost if you can. You know, the good thing about technology, we have electric candles now, you know, via battery. Use those instead of a real candle. But if you have to use candles, make sure that you're aware of where they're at. Make sure they're not around any combustible or anything that can catch on fire. Make sure they're not unattended. And so, you know, college dorms the same way. Just be aware of those candles. Be aware that that's a live flame and can catch anything on fire.
Better to not use
Yes,
them.
ma'am.
And then, of course, this is hurricane season, and we want people to know, of course, no candles during hurricane season.
Right.
You guys are going to be busy enough during hurricanes.
That's correct.
But also for people who are going to pull a generator out. Give us some information.
Well, just be aware of where that generator is. Don't pull it into the garages or carports or anything that's attached, porches that are attached to the building where the exhaust can find its way into the home. keep them outside. That's what they're made for. Have flashlights ready, available, radios as well. Make sure the batteries are good to go. Check those things prior to hurricane season so you're ready to go.
Let's talk November, and people will be frying turkeys or hams or chickens, whatever, but a lot of times it's the biggest fire hazard of the season.
Our suggestions are this: if you're going to fry a turkey, make sure you're doing it outside, at least 10 feet away from any combustible structure, anything that can catch on fire. Be aware that it might be the trees above that you have to be concerned about. Make sure your turkey isn't wet at all, completely thawed. And there's plenty of places online. NFPA.org, National Fire Protection Agency.org has a lot of great information that you can find on their website about all these things that we're going to talk about today.
So let's talk about December and beautiful, beautiful live Christmas trees, but they shouldn't be up for too long because they too can catch on fire.
Right. Well, especially if they're real trees, they can dry out very, very quickly. And so make sure with those you're cutting 2 inches off the bottom. You're making sure they're watered every day. Again, that they're not around anything, a heat source, whether that be a flame or a heater. And that's another issue that you may have in a home with heaters. Make sure they're safe. Fall hazards, all that type of stuff. Make sure they shut off if they were to fall. But make sure that they're not placed anywhere around that tree to catch it on fire.
So for Christmas presents, wouldn't it be a great idea to give our friends and neighbors a fire extinguisher or smoke detector?
Fire extinguishers are huge. Just make sure you know how to operate them. There is an acronym that we use for fire extinguishers. It's called PASS, P-A-S-S. It's pull, aim, squeeze, sweep. Make sure you're doing the base of the fire. That's what you're aiming towards, not the smoke or the flames above. And so fire extinguishers certainly can save lives. As you mentioned, fire detectors or smoke detectors, also are lifesavers. Huge. Actually, smoke detectors need to be swapped out every 10 years per manufacturer specs. And so, very important that you're testing them every month as well. And so make it something fun for the kids, allowing them to go up, helping you test those things so they get used to doing that as well.
How about burning in the area? You mentioned burning leaves, but there are a lot of people that will be cooking pigs, having marshmallow roasts and all those things in their backyard, thinking it's safe.
Certainly. So number one, the biggest thing is to make sure your jurisdiction, whatever that may be, Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach, in the county, and the surrounding areas, making sure that you have permission to burn, making sure that it's safe to burn during that time frame. Number two, making sure that you have something in place to put the fire out, whether it be a garden hose, a fire extinguisher, and or a shovel to put dirt on it. That'll work as well. Number three, making sure the fire is actually a small enough fire. I know guys especially, we like big things, especially big fires. And so just make sure that you've got enough of the extinguishing agent to put out whatever fire that you're wanting to burn. Those are the important things. And again, if it's too windy, don't burn. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Before we wrap up the fire part of this conversation, fireworks, I want you to comment.
So fireworks in North Myrtle Beach are prohibited.
Good.
Yes, that is a good thing. So just, again, be aware of where you're at, North Myrtle Beach, Horry County. Make sure they're okay to...
Know the rules.
You know the rules, for sure. But also when you're doing it, make sure you're safe. Keep them away from combustibles. Be aware of where they're going to be going to. We've had some land on roofs and cause, structure fires. And one in particular, we lost the whole home because of a firework that had gone off, a bottle rocket, I believe it was. And it started the roof on fire and just went from there. So, and make sure, obviously, adults are doing it, not kids, and try to be as safe as possible.
And Jay, we all know that there's been a lot of information in the news lately about child safety seats. And if you've installed them wrong, then you're not providing safety for your child or grandchild. But you guys are the experts.
Well, we are certified. We do have to go through classes And so if they come to our jurisdiction, North Myrtle Beach, we can certainly install one with our knowledge and expertise in that area. And so, and we definitely want to. That's why we do the certifications. And so I believe other jurisdictions do the same thing, but check whatever fire department is closest to you and see if they offer that. And, that way it's done right.
And finally, I think your job transition has been remarkable. Tell everyone how you started.
Well, I've been in the area for about 20 years. I met a little Southern belle, gorgeous lady, and came down south here about 20 years ago. I've been in the ministry since I was 19 years old. And so I've always done something for the kingdom of God. I was pastoring. I had been pastoring for 8 years, and my wife and I lost a son. And one of my best friends actually referred me to the fire service, and I said, I don't think so. I don't want to run into a burning building while everybody's running out. I don't think that's a gig that I want to be a part of. But lo and behold, he stayed on me. I tried it, ended up falling in love with it, and it certainly is a calling. It really is. It's not just a career. It's a calling. And so as I progressed in the fire service, I was 3 years frontline firefighter, and then moved into the fire prevention department, and I've been there for 7 years. So 10 years total I've been with the City of North Myrtle Beach Department of Public Safety, and I've been the chaplain for about 6 years there as well. So
Police and fire, as
fire.
you do here in North Myrtle Beach,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
we're so glad he is. Great information, life-saving for sure. Thank you, Jay Ortiz.
thank you, Diane. Appreciate it.
Happy holidays, everyone. Coming up on Inside Out, a dog-friendly restaurant.
Hi, I'm Luke Rankin. Horry County is my home. I was born and raised here, and for nearly 31 years, I've been helping people. I'm an attorney. When folks need help after an accident, if they've been injured on the job or denied Social Security benefits, they call me. No screaming, no crashing cars here, just a serious offer to help. If you need legal advice or assistance, go with experience. Give me a call. Luke Rankin, Rankin & Rankin Law Firm. Experience you can trust.
Honey, I think I'll adjust the thermostat. It's getting a little cool.
Mom, you don't have to get up to do that. I've installed the HTC Connected Home app on your phone. See, you can adjust the temperature from anywhere. Okay, Mom, I've got to go. Thanks for house sitting. Make sure to lock the door and set the alarm.
No problem. I have everything I need right here.
HTC self-install kit, $0 with 36-month monitoring commitment.
HTC, this is life. Connect with it.
This segment of Inside Out is brought to you by Clark Parker with Myrtle Beach CPAs, proudly serving the area for over 40 years.
When was the last time you ate out, lunch or dinner, with your best friend? I'm talking about your dog, because now you can bring your dog to the Sneaky Beagle in Carolina Forest. And that's where we are right now, where we're gonna be whipping up some of the best tacos you've ever seen or tasted. I want you to meet Gandy Henry. He is the general manager here, and what a great operation you've got already. How long have you been open?
Thanks, Diane. We opened up March 8th, so we're just in our first few months of operation, but it's been going well so far. We've received a lot of support from the locals.
Just being able to bring your dog to the outdoor patio is fantastic. And we'll talk to the Crabby Dog Eats people who actually have a menu for their dog out there.
Yeah, we like to have the dogs be able to have something that they like out here too. It's not just for the human beings, so we've got a menu of about 4 or 5 items for the dogs, and we do provide water bowls for them as well.
Tell us about your sister property, because everyone's familiar with them.
Yes, we're same company as the Grumpy Monk, so they have the Grumpy Monk in Carolina Forest off 501. They have the Grumpy Monk at Broadway at the beach, and there's also a Grumpy Monk North Myrtle Beach going in about a month or so as well.
And that's so exciting, and the people who own this are local, and so we really want to support this group.
Yeah, Chris, he's local. He's a Coastal Carolina alum. His wife is a local school teacher. She also works at the Grumpy Monk on 501, so we're all just locals, friends, and family doing the restaurant business together.
So the menu is so incredibly eclectic. I don't know where to begin, but you have paninis, build your own salad. You even have stuff for vegans and vegetarians.
Yes, you really should be able to find anything you want to eat here. We got steaks, we got tacos, we got vegan, vegetarian, like you mentioned, the big, huge salads, sushi. If you are a sushi lover, we've got a full sushi menu for that as well.
And Mark's in the kitchen right now, and he's supposedly one of the best chefs around, I understand.
He's fantastic.
He's doing some tacos. Now this one is a Philly taco.
Yeah, right now he's making the taco named Phil. It's got delicious marinated steak, onions, peppers, cheddar cheese, and it's covered in our house-made chimichurri sauce.
Yum! It looks delicious. It looks like the Philly cheesesteak, but just a little bit spicier.
Yes, it gets great reviews.
Now, I saw this one on the menu called Caribbean. That looks wonderful as well. It's a little lighter flair.
Yeah, slow cooked pork. It's marinated in our jerk seasoning. It's got a bed of coleslaw, and it's got some mango salsa toppings.
Okay, back to Mark. He's got something with buffalo sauce going on.
Yep, he's making a buffalo chicken taco. The chicken is covered in the buffalo sauce, and then we've got blue cheese in there as well with the provolone and onion.
I know Mark's got one more taco up his sleeve, and what is that one?
He has the blackened shrimp taco. He's going to put a little twist on this one, and he's going to put it on a lettuce wrap for dietary preferences. So it wants to have blackened shrimp, tropical coleslaw, fire roasted corn salsa, and mango chunks.
Oh, so it's a lettuce wrap. You're doing away with the taco part, and you're certainly cutting down on the calories.
Yeah, we can do that for any taco. We can substitute out the tortilla wrap and put it in lettuce.
I also know you got a wine night.
Yep, Wednesday night starting at 7 p.m. If you buy a glass of wine, you can then keep the glass that comes in. And we have several different customized wine glasses. They all have different sayings on them. Just kind of clever things like I like to do yoga to relax. And just kidding, I drink wine in my yoga pants.
I love it. So you get to keep the glass.
Yep, you buy that after 7 on Wednesday nights, you keep the glass. Actually, if you collect a bunch of glasses and you bring 12 back, we'll donate to a charity. And if you bring 24 back, we'll give you a free t-shirt.
This is such a benevolent place. And then, not to forget, you can bring your best friend. Right now, we're going out on the deck to meet up with the girls who are known as Crabby Dog Eats. Thanks, Candy.
No problem. Thank you, Diane.
So how did this doggy business get started?
My business partner, Kimberly, and I have been best friends for a couple years now, and we had always made dog treats on our own for our own dogs and friends and family, and we like to do festivals occasionally. So when we heard that the Grumpy Monk was opening a sister restaurant called the Sneaky Beagle, and it was supposed to feature dogs and have dogs outside, we contacted the owner, sent him an email, and said we'd like to meet with him, and we met with him, and now we have a dog menu.
It is the coolest thing to think that I can bring my little dog Cagney over here. I could eat outside on their beautiful patio, and Cagney can order from the menu.
Absolutely. You can have a taco and a beer, and your dog can have a cupcake.
I love it. Tell me about the items on the menu. Pupcake.
Pupcake. So this is our pupcake here. It's made with whole grain flour, natural peanut butter, all natural pumpkin, coconut oil, and we just bake it up for the dogs, and we put a cute little bone on top.
It sounds like something I would like to eat.
You can eat it. Actually, everything that we make here is human grade food. All of the ingredients you can read. My 10-year-old son actually loves our bacon and cheese donut.
This is a bacon and cheese donut that the dogs will love and people will too. Smells great. What is this?
That is our signature chicken jerky. We buy chicken breast and dehydrate it, and the dogs and actually cats alike both love it.
And this looks scrumptious. Okay, I'm gonna try it.
You should. It's so good.
You sure people can eat this?
Absolutely. That's a peanut butter cocoa ball, so it has organic, all natural coconut oil, unsweetened coconut, oats, and peanut butter.
This is incredible.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, Kara, the hottest selling item is what?
You know, it changes from week to week. In the beginning, it was the pupcake, I think because it's the cutest thing. Our newest menu item is the bacon and cheese donut, and we typically sell out of this every single week.
Now, Kara, what is this?
Those are our banana bones. They're like your typical dog bone, except for it's made with all natural human-grade ingredients, and we mash up real banana with it. You can smell it. You'll be able to smell banana.
Smell nothing. I want to taste it. I love banana. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Now, I also heard you do other things other than things for the dogs to eat.
We absolutely do. We make things for your dog to wear. My business partner, Kimberly, will talk to you about that right over there.
I'm going to swallow and get up with Kimberly right now. Well, these are lovely. Do you guys make them?
We make them all ourselves, actually. Yes, we do. We make them in my house. We make the bow ties by pressing them down with an iron, and we have interfacing, and we finish it off with Velcro. And this makes it easy enough for you to just wrap it right around the collar, so you don't have to worry about taking the collar off or anything like that.
So you've got items for big dogs too. I mean, obviously this wouldn't fit a big dog.
No, that wouldn't fit a big dog, but we have this one that would fit a big dog.
Oh.
And they're double-sided. They're
Cool.
double-sided, they're elastic, so you don't have to worry about taking off the collar and slipping it around. You can just slip it right over their head and you're good to go. No knots or anything like that. All elastic.
But I love what you and Kara are doing, because I also know that you go out to all the humane societies. When they have events, you try to make them all, and you try to be there if somebody adopts a dog.
We do. We want to be a part of it. We want to be a part of somebody, getting their forever friend as well. And when they adopt a dog, they can come to us and get a free treat. So we love to support local adoptions, and we try to go to every adoption event and every festival around, just to be there and be supportive of everybody.
And finally, where can people get the biscuits, delicious that they were, as well as these items other than Grumpy Monk and Sneaky Beagle?
You can go to the Island Dog Shop, which is over on the northern end of Myrtle Beach next to Margaritas. There's a little shop that this woman Amanda owns, and she has our bandanas, our bow ties, and pretty much all of our treats there as well.
And they can also go to your Facebook page.
Yes, you can contact us via Facebook.
Remember, when you're ready to eat out with your best friend, lunch or dinner, remember the Sneaky Beagle, a beautiful outdoor deck here in Carolina Forest. You're gonna love it, and so will your best friend.
That's
Thank
for
you so
sure.
much, Kimberly.
Thank you.
Kara, Candy, everybody.
Love it.
Learn the importance of wetlands. Stay with us here on Inside Out.
Hi, I'm Wanda Howard, and I've known Clark Parker for a long time. Clark has been my CPA for the original Benjamin since 2006. He has proven himself to be knowledgeable, dependable, and available. I consider him to be an integral part of my business success. I even trust Clark for my personal estate planning. Small problems or large, Clark can help you navigate through them successfully.
Clark Parker and Myrtle Beach CPAs, proudly serving the area for over 40 years.
We are off of International Road between Myrtle Beach and Conway at a beautiful wetlands area. This is actually Water Tower Road, and my guest is Sudie Thomas. She's a wildlife biologist. So how did you get into this field?
So my father, Reggie Davis, who's a local photographer, we were growing up, he had us outside a lot. We were on the river, we were camping. He's a bird watcher, so I eventually got into bird watching with him. And then when I was going to college at Coastal for biology, I had a professor named Chris Marsh, who's an ornithology professor, and he got me my first wildlife job with the Department of Natural Resources. And my first job was working with Phil Wilkinson, trapping and measuring alligators, and then also counting shorebird nests. So I was hooked then. It's just, it's a really fascinating field to be in, and just a lot of fun. Okay.
Tell us about where we are right now.
So we're at Lewis Ocean Bay Heritage Preserve. It's a public land, and it's managed by the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. It is, I think it's something like 10,000 acres, and it's predominantly longleaf pine forest, but it also supports a lot of wetlands and has a lot of Carolina bays and some really cool wildlife and plant diversity.
Sudie, what's the difference between a wetland and a Carolina bay?
So a Carolina bay is really just a geological formation, and I think most people have probably seen pictures of them. They have this elliptical shape and they have these sandy rims, but they have the low area in the middle which supports wetlands, and it just depends on where it is on the landscape as to what kind of wetland it supports. It could be a cypress wetland or a swamp tupelo wetland, or it could be a pocosin, which supports a lot of evergreen vegetation. That's what we have out here. So they're really thick and impenetrable.
Are there a lot of states like ours that have Carolina bays? I mean, with the word Carolina, I just wondered whether we pretty much had the run on them.
So they're predominantly in the southeast, mostly in North and South Carolina, some in Georgia. But we have, North and South Carolina has the most Carolina bays.
Now let's talk about why they're important, because a lot of times we hear about a road that's going to be built and people say, well, we can't go through that area because of the wetlands. And there's people who say, why not?
So let me just talk about what a wetland is. So a wetland in general is an area that has either surface water or the soil is saturated for long enough time during the growing season to develop characteristic soils, hydric soils, and characteristic vegetation. And they sort of act as an ecotone between terrestrial environments, uplands, and they sort of buffer our aquatic habitats like our rivers and streams. So they're really important. There's so many ecological services that we get from wetlands, as well as the animals in these habitats. So if you put a road in a wetland, it decreases its ability to function to provide ecological services. You also block aquatic passage for animals. You increase the risk of flooding. You can back water up on one side. There's a lot of reasons to avoid putting roads in wetlands.
And with what's been happening around here during the hurricanes and storms, we don't want any more water issues. So really, they're very beneficial in many ways. Mm-hmm. What are some of the critters that you've seen as you've traveled around with your career?
So wetlands are really kind of they're really fun to explore. The critters that use wetlands, that kind of mostly associate with wetlands, are amphibians and reptiles. Mostly amphibians like frogs, toads, and salamanders. And I'm sort of talking more about our ephemeral wetlands. So these wetlands out here, Carolina bays, are isolated depressional wetlands as opposed to our floodplain wetlands that are associated with rivers and streams, and as opposed to our marshes and estuaries. A lot of our ephemeral wetlands occur in the flat coastal plain area. So our coastal plain goes, from the outer coast all the way up to the sandhills, like all the way up to Columbia. So we have a big area of the state that has a lot of depressional wetlands scattered all over the place. And they dry up. So that's the benefit to some of the species that use them, is that they're not always full of water. Amphibians like toads, frogs, and salamanders lay their eggs, and their larvae are aquatic. And so if they dry up sometimes, then fish can't live there, and fish eat the eggs and the larvae. So and that's why you hear them calling when it's raining. So they're like, let's go, it's time, and because it's going to dry up, And then other species like dragonflies, they lay their eggs in ephemeral wetlands, and their larvae are also aquatic. And same thing, they benefit from having it dry up sometime.
Have you seen any bears out here?
There are bears out here. This preserve and this area supports a really big bear population. I've seen them nearby, up on Sterrett Swamp Road, where my father lives. But they definitely use this habitat. There's so many pocosins in here. Those Carolina bays, depressional wetlands with that thick evergreen vegetation, that it's really good places for them to travel without being seen, and has a lot of food resources, a lot of berries.
What about the plants out here? There's some pretty unique ones.
There are, and we have some of the most unique ones out here are some of the carnivorous plants, and they tend to exist right at the edge of these wetlands. We have sundews and pitcher plants and butterworts, and they've adapted to sort of pour nutrients in the soil by becoming carnivorous.
So even though there's beautiful plants here in the wetlands, there's also a need for animals to benefit. But the most important thing is that wetlands truly benefit people, and most folks don't even know it.
They do, yes. So wetlands are providing a lot of resources for animals, like you said, breeding sites, nesting sites, food in the form of insects and berries, and pollinators benefit, beneficial insects. They support bats that are eating insects, so we are benefiting from these critters, kind of reducing pest populations. But the biggest benefits we get are how wetlands function. So some of the things they do for us is they store water when we have big storm events. They attenuate water, so they slow it down, and then they slowly release it into the watershed. And while that's happening, the water is also being filtered through the plants. Plants are also sucking water up. So they're removing surface water, which benefits us, it reduces flooding, it benefits water quality, and it reduces sediment. So sedimentation is stopped. The sediment gets trapped in the plants and the wetlands and goes to the bottom and is filtered through the plant roots and the microbes.
Finally, we want people to know that you can tour facilities like this, but you can't just come out on your own. You need permission. So how do we go about getting that?
So these preserves are actually open to the public. What you need permission for is hunting. There are some specific rules about hunting, and the place to find that out is with the Department of Natural Resources. So, and they have all this information on the internet. You just have to look for South Carolina Department of Natural Resources Heritage Preserves and Wildlife Management Areas. But anybody can come out here and look around.
As long as you're not hunting.
Right. If you're not hunting, come walk around. But if it's hunting season, you probably should maybe just maybe wear orange or just notice where the hunters are.
Well, that's great to know. If you're a hunter, you need permission, but the rest of you, come on out. Or better yet, y'all come. Thank you, Sudie.
You're welcome. This has been a ton of fun. One of my favorite places.
Coming up, we salute a long-time Conway business, Altman Tractor.
As fellow community members, HTC knows the precious value of family time spent together. That's why HTC delivers faster speeds, 24/7 local tech support, and free Wi-Fi. No matter where the day takes me, HTC serves up the world-class high-speed internet you need to stay connected to your world. Because you are here, and so are we.
High-speed internet starting at 100 megabits per second. Call today.
HTC. This is life. Connect with it.
Enjoy the sights, sounds, and stories of Halloween with the Long Bay Symphony under the ghoulish direction of Dr. Charles Jones Evans. This Halloween extravaganza will feature concertmaster William Terwilliger and performers from Atlantic Stage. Tickets are now available for Sunday, October 27th, 4 p.m. at the Myrtle Beach High School Music and Arts Center. Come early for Maestro Evans' concert preview. For tickets, call or go online at longbaysymphony.com.
Welcome to Altman Tractor in Conway. Meet Chip Smith. He's the head honcho around here, and I just found out that this company began in Florence.
That's right, back in 1959, started by William Altman. Billy Altman is what we called him.
And how long have we had a Conway facility?
And we've been in Conway for about 35 years.
Let's talk about your business, Chip, because I always thought you were strictly farming, but you're also construction.
That's right, we do farming and construction. With Myrtle Beach being so close, of course, and all the development going on, we sell to all the earth movers and landscapers and plumbers and anybody that does any type of digging in the earth.
Let's talk about the farmer for a moment, though. You've been here for a long time, over 30 years, and how have you seen farming change as far as equipment?
It's come a long way. Mr. Altman, when he started the business, he used to talk to me about trading in mules and selling the farmers tractors. Well, now it's even gone to the next step to where a lot of the larger tractors have GPS systems on them for precision planning. What the farmers will do is map out their fields and plant the crops closer together, and they know exactly where they are when it comes harvest time to be able to get more crop out of the ground.
That's amazing. Would you say that's one of the most innovative things that's happened in your tenure?
It is. And now it's even moving to autonomous tractors where before long it's going to be to where they can just program the tractors and they will harvest and plant all by themselves.
Kind of like the cars, but not quite as scary as letting cars be on the road. And
fields are a lot more open.
Yes. And then as far as construction, we certainly know that equipment's come a long way.
Oh, it certainly has. Once again, using computers and lasers for grading to get everything just perfect. It's made their task a lot easier on the operator.
Tell me about your service area. Do you pretty much just service Horry and Georgetown County, or do you have folks coming in from all over the state?
Well, mostly just Georgetown, Horry, Marion, and even up into Brunswick County is what we service. We don't like to go out too far to where we can't service our equipment and get to it and take care of the customer.
So you pretty much go out on location. People have a problem with a piece of equipment. It's not like when you have a car breakdown, you bring it in. You actually go out to them?
We certainly can. We have a service truck that's fully equipped to where if a customer can't get to us, we can come to them and repair their equipment. And here we have a full shop, and we also have full parts department, so we do everything. One-stop center for all your needs.
Tell me about some of the things we're seeing, like that piece of equipment right over there. Just tell me a little bit about that.
Well, that's a little bit of where we're diversifying. We also carry zero-turn mowers for your landscapers and your yard men. Of course, they make cutting grass so much easier because it's so much quicker.
And that's what that is?
Yes, it's called a zero-turn mower.
I mean, it looks like it could be on the Darlington Southern 500 racetrack.
Well, they are quick. That's what makes it so nice for the landscapers.
Tell me about your employee base.
My employee base, we have 10 employees here, mechanics, of course, parts men, and salesmen.
Fill me in on some of the name brands that you carry, because I know you've made some changes over the years.
Yes. We are a New Holland dealer, and New Holland bought out Ford Tractor Company back in about 1991. And New Holland took the line and really expanded it, and we have a lot more product now than we did when we were a Ford dealer. We also carry Coyote tractors, which is a South Korean tractor, compact diesels, which are excellent tractors for your what we call weekenders, people with acreage and horse farms, and love these type of tractors.
Aren't you amazed, though, Chip, of the many different types of farms we have in our community? I know I was when I started doing this show. I had no idea.
Oh yeah, you can have from your large farmers to just your small vegetable grower farmers, organic farmers, a little bit of everything, and all right here in Horry County.
Do you often have the homeowner just come in for something? Do you also cater to them?
Oh yes, you have a homeowner that just has an acre, but a dirt drive, and they'll buy a small tractor to grade their driveways with and just move debris around or whatever. So yeah, everybody could use a tractor.
So everybody can shop here at Altman Tractor. Been around town for a long time, doing great business for Conway, Horry County, Georgetown County, Marion County, the works.
That's right. Thank you, Diane.
Thank you. People always ask me, well, where were you when you did that interview, or where were you when you did that video shot? This, of course, is the Barefoot Resort Marina. Isn't it beautiful? Next month, we're going to celebrate Thanksgiving together in Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach, Pawleys Island, Aner, and Conway. I'll see you then.
Inside Out is presented by HTC. This is life. Connect with it. And sponsored in part by Luke Rankin, Rankin & Rankin Law Firm, experience you can trust. And by Clark Parker with Myrtle Beach CPAs, proudly serving the area for over 40 years. And by Magnolia's at 26th for good old-fashioned Southern comfort food, where Mama eats.